Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You ain't subscribed yet? IUIC Atlanta Burning 2.0. What you waiting on? Get it done. Do it now.
Hey, get them clicks, get them likes, and subscribe. Do it now.
What's your name, sis? Marquita. Marquita or Marquita?
Marquita.
Marquita. Oh, praise. So you said you come from the tribe of Judah. Now, question: do you believe in the Bible? You do. Okay. Now go to Deuteronomy 28. Let's start there first. So we're going to prove who we are in the Bible. For example, when you look at the issues that go through our community, would you say we're a blessed people or a cursed people? When you see the single-parent household, the drug dealing, the gang violence, you say that's of a blessed people or a cursed people? Cursed. Now, why do we live that way? Because the Chinese man don't live that way. The white man don't live that way. The Arab man don't live that way. Nobody lives that way but us. Why do we live that way? Because we don't know who we truly are. I like that. Let's start with Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's get who Moses was talking to first. Because we're going to start with our nationality first, and we'll go from there, all right? Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So it says, these be the words which Moses spake unto who? All Israel. Now, when you look at these tribes over here, you have 12 tribes of the children of Israel. They make up the nation of Israel. So Moses is talking to who? These people over here. Which one of them would be your people, correct? Okay, go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Now, the book of Deuteronomy is after they left Exodus, after God put the 10 plagues on Egypt. Are you familiar with that? Okay, now this is after that. All right, read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
It says, but it shall come to pass. How you doing, sis? What's your name? You said Isis? Nice to meet you. So we're going over our history, our nationality. Do you know who you are in the Bible? Yes. As far as nationality. We're going to deal with that. Okay, now sis, show her what I just showed you. Show her how to find out what her nationality is. Based off of that sign. How you doing, sis? Hold on 1 second. Same thing for you. Do you know what your nationality is in the Bible? You do. Okay. Show her real quick. So what she's saying is on the left-hand side, these are our God-given nationalities. On the right-hand side is what our slave master called us. So what would be your nationality? African-American, Puerto Rican, Dominican. So you've been from the tribe of Simeon. What about you, sis? So what is your father? Okay, Numbers 118. Let's get that first. Let's see how we determine nationality. You said your dad is Dominican and your mom is? Okay, now what's your nationality?
Indian, Native American, Sierra Leone.
So based off of your father? Sierra Leone, okay. So let's deal with this first. Because we're taught that nationality is based off of mother and father, correct? We've got to ask ourselves, how does God determine nationality? Because that's what nationality actually matters. Read what you got. Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month.
So they're getting all the congregation of Israel together, read.
And they declared their pedigrees.
Now what is a pedigree? If I'm declaring somebody's pedigree, what is a pedigree? You know? Huh?
What they stand on, what they value.
Okay, what about you, sis? I didn't get your name, by the way. Christian.
Yeah.
What is a pedigree?
I have the lineage.
Your lineage. All right, let me finish this out before you go. Read it again.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
Now, according to God, your pedigree is determined by who? Your father. By who? Your father. So based on what your father is, determine who you are. For example, if my father is African American and my mom is Jamaican, that would make me from the tribe of Judah, not from the tribe of Benjamin, because it's based off my father. Now, you said you understood who you were. Do you believe in the Bible? Do you understand Judah, Benjamin, Levi? How much of the Bible do you understand? Okay. Now, according to our people, who are we in the Bible? Now we're going to deal with that. Go back to Deuteronomy 1 and 1. We're going to deal with that now. Hey, sis, did you get a flyer? Okay. We're going to deal with that now. We're going to show who we are in the Bible. Because understand there are 18 nations in the Bible. We never ask ourselves, we all believe in the Bible, but we never ask ourselves, who are we in it? So Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So now who is Moses talking to? All of Israel. Okay. Now do you know the history of Israel? So what happened with Israel in Egypt?
They were enslaved and they got brought out.
Okay, they was enslaved, God brought us in plague, and they got brought out. Okay, now this is Deuteronomy. This is after that. All right, Deuteronomy 28 verse 15.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
It says, but it shall come to pass. What does that mean? If I say this shall come to pass, what does that mean? In the future. It's going to happen in the future. Okay, good. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Moses telling the children of Israel, if you will not listen to the voice of the Lord your God, this is going to happen to you. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Now, when you look at our community, would you say our people do the statutes and commandments of God? Absolutely not. Okay, now keep reading.
That all these curses,
The what?
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God says, if you don't do what I say do, you'll be cursed as the people. Now, we're going to read some of these curses. And I want you to tell me, who does this sound like? Does it sound like us? Does it sound like the so-called Jewish man that claims to be Israel? Does it sound like the white man, the Chinese man? I want you to tell me, all right? Read verse 48. Let's start there. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
It says, therefore, because you don't want to do what God said do, you're going to serve your enemies. Now, when you look around the world, does a white man serve his enemies? The last time I checked, we're in America. They run America. Who makes the laws?
Poor ones do.
Who runs America? We're talking about as a nation. As a nation of people. As a nation of people, who runs America?
Rich people.
And who are they?
Most
Because we have rich black people like LeBron. Does LeBron make any decision when it comes to laws?
LeBron's not rich enough.
Huh?
LeBron's not rich enough.
So who would you say there's a black person that's rich that runs America?
I wouldn't know him.
Because they don't exist. So let's go to China. And China, who runs China?
Chinese people.
Who runs Arabia?
Raven?
Who runs every? What? Okay, then I like that. What nation do we run?
Bring it out.
No.
Some of them.
Which one?
Have their independence.
They have the independence, but who do that? When it comes to their independence, are they thriving? Because last I checked, even those who have their own resources, America, China, other countries come and steal those resources. So that's not running the world. You may have something named, like for example, I have a house that's in my name. Just like they have a country that they quote unquote run. The white man cut in my house and say, this is the eminent domain, give me that. What can I say? Same thing over there. They determine the value of their money. They don't get to determine their own value of their money. Read that again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Now, why would God send our enemies against us? We read it in verse 15. What did we do wrong? Not follow the commandments. Read.
And hunger.
It says in hunger. Now, what's your favorite restaurant? What do you like this? La Chinga. Okay, so do we own that? Okay, give me. What do you shop at? For groceries.
Wait, okay, my favorite black-owned restaurant, Amy Lori's.
I like that. You said your favorite black-owned restaurant. Now let's deal with the black-owned restaurant because it's owned by black people. Now, when it comes to the foods and the drinks that's in those businesses, do we control those? Do we own those? Like meaning, let's say, where do we get our food from?
Where is it sourced from?
Yes.
Hopefully locally grown farms.
But are we running those farms?
Depends on which farm.
In a majority standpoint, I'm talking about a majority, meaning let's say I own that restaurant.
Yeah.
Am I getting all my produce, all my meat, all my produce, all my milk, everything in my store, does it come from my people? Or does it come from somebody else that don't look like me? Because you got to think about it. God said you will serve your enemies for food. Read.
And in thirst.
Now in water, what do you like to drink?
Water.
Water. Oh, let's deal with water. So you pay a water bill, correct? If you decide I'm not going to pay my water bill, what happens? There will be no more water. Are we coming to your house to turn it off? Meaning, do I own the water bill company? Do I own the water company to come turn your water off? Or does somebody that don't look like us own it?
That is very possible.
Absolutely. And for another example, rainwater falls free from the sky, correct? Can you collect rainwater?
No, it's actually illegal
Now wait a minute.
I know.
Now this is God-given free water, but somebody gonna tell you can't collect it? Now, to me that sounds like slavery. To me that sounds like I'm serving my enemy for thirst. Do you agree? Okay, keep reading.
And in nakedness.
Now, clothes on our back, for example, these purple and gold shirts, they look nice, don't they? Now, they look good. We put our emblem on them. But do you think we own the raw textiles of these? No, we got to get them from somebody else that don't look like us. So even the clothes on our backs, we do not own. Read. You got a cell phone? Go to the internet. Type in yoke, Y-O-K-E, of iron. Now, they have made some changes to it. Put in
I
yoke
know
of
what they
iron.
look like though.
Absolutely. Read what you got.
And in want of all things.
It says in want of all things. That's your house, your car. Think about the loans we get for our houses, for our cars, our birth certificates, our death certificates. Pick that up. Everything we want. Think about everything you have on, your glasses, your pants, your shoes, all of that. Does that come from us? It does not. It comes from other nations. Finish that out.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
It says, and he, that enemy, shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Who did this happen to? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So who does that sound like?
It sounds very similar to what
We're going to keep reading. We're going to keep going. So you said so far it sounds like us. Does that sound like that happens to anybody else? Does anybody else today serve their enemy for everything? Does a Chinese man? Because he has his own land where he gets his food, water, all that from.
But they trade with us too.
They trade with who?
Trade with other nations too.
They do trade with other nations. Do they trade with us? Are they coming to the hood and say, hey, let me trade this with you?
To the hood, of course not.
So where are they going when they're coming to us? Because I know what it is. You're thinking because they're African, they're the same people as us.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I want you to understand it. It's completely different. Give me Exodus 11 verse 7. I want to prove that first. So you said the Israelites were enslaved to the Egyptians. What color are the Egyptians?
A lot of them were black too.
Okay, so you're saying black people enslaved black people?
It happens often.
So are the Israelites and the Egyptians the same people? Because they're both dark.
You can both be dark but not be the same nationality.
Just like Chinese and Japanese. It looks similar, but I like that. You all right with me? Read what you got. Exodus 11 and 7. Yes, sir.
The book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel.
It said, God is speaking. He said, but against any of the children of Israel shall not
Shall not a dog move his tongue.
It says, but against any of the children of Israel, against any of my people shall not a dog move his tongue. Read.
Against man or beast.
The dog better not touch the man nor his animals. Read.
That ye may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians.
How God puts a difference between the Egyptians
and Israel.
And the Israelites. Because remember, God went through and put plagues on the Egyptians. It didn't touch the Israelites. God killed the Egyptians firstborn. It didn't touch the Israelites, showing you, yeah, y'all the same color, but y'all two different people. Now go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. So far we dealt with serving your enemy for food, water, clothing. How you doing, sis? So we're going to deal with the color of Christ next. We're going to tie that in. Matter of fact, she have to serve our enemy for the wants of all things. Let's talk about religion, because she want to deal with the color of Christ. Our religion, where do we get it from? I'll look for that sign. Love, we got it though. So our religion, our Christianity, our Islam, all the religions in the world, where do we get ours from?
Christ.
Is Christianity in the Bible? The word Christianity.
The word Christian.
Right, but Christianity, for example, let's deal with Christianity. A Baptist. Where can I look in the scriptures and find out about Baptists?
Now, I have different views on denominations too. That was all man-made.
Okay, let's deal with that then. You talking about religion. So don't step up, sis. What's your name? Keisha. Nice to meet you, Miss Keisha. We're going to deal with the color of Christ. Let's deal with the color of Christ. Now, according to Christianity, right, which is supposed to be in the Bible. According to Christianity, what color is Christ?
Christianity has never given him a color.
Whoa.
People have given him a color.
Okay, what's up? You go to 2819 church?
Yeah.
So according to 2819 church, what color is Christ?
He's very dark brown. He's brown.
They teach that he's brown? Okay, let's deal with the religion Christianity. Now, according to Christianity, how I was raised, Christ always been white. Now, the passion of Christ, you know what that is? You know what that is? Everybody knows what the passion of Christ is. What color was Christ?
He was white.
Now, why was he white?
That was a man-made movie. And that's what
Based off of what religion? Christianity.
But all Christians aren't necessarily real Christians.
You said what now?
All Christians aren't necessarily
Most Christians aren't real
I
Christians.
would agree. It's a
Now,
shadow.
we're still dealing with the religion, but we're going to deal with the color of Christ. Now, according to Christianity and all the denominations and mainstream Christianity, what color do they teach Christ is? I'm talking about mainstream.
White Christians.
Okay, Revelation 1:14. Now we're going to deal with what the Bible actually says. Read what you got.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it says Christ's head and his hairs were white like wool. Now, white is the color. What texture is wool? So what texture hair is that?
It would be given blackish.
So this, you can consider this wool.
Something close.
So nappy hair will be, I know, oh, we do. Look
I
at
want
this.
to go Christ too.
Here we go. Here we go. So this is wool. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. How you doing? How you doing? I got a question for y'all. What color is Christ? Hey, sis, you mind if they step up?
Oh, she said black.
You said what color? Hey, Mom, is you teach? Are you telling her to say black?
She know we do this every Saturday.
Okay,
We go
I'm gonna ask her. Hey, princess, what color is Christ? Step up for me. Walk up here for me. You gonna come up. Which one of these, princess, right here, which one of these is Christ? It's okay. We're your brothers. Which one of these is Christ?
We point to the picture.
Which one?
Show him the good Jesus.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Now, sis, why would she point to that?
That's what she's
Bring it out.
Now, who teaches? Who shows it? Who? You said she's used to seeing that. From where? TVs, movies. But we don't see that though on TVs and movies. Why not? Why don't we see the real image of Christ on TVs and movies?
Now, I would like to ask though, because when you're reading this in Revelation, this is like glorified Christ. This wasn't Christ.
Give me
walking on
Daniel.
earth.
You said it's glorified Christ. What do you mean
Yeah,
glorified?
like in his glorified body.
I had a question. So when he walked the earth, he was white.
I'm not saying he's white. I'm saying he's probably.
So why is it in his glorified? Why is it in his glorified body he looks black, but he just can't be black? So you saying when our glorified state with black people?
Bring it
I'm
out.
trying to understand the logic.
What I'm saying is like when they say his feet were like bronze, it's parallel to the judgment because that's what bronze was.
No, bronze is a color. He said like unto bronze, meaning the color of bronze. Read Daniel. We're gonna find out. Read Daniel.
The book of Daniel, chapter 10 and verse 5. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins was girded with fine gold of Euphrates.
So he said, I saw a man clothed in linen. He's talking about Christ. Daniel looked up. Are you following? Okay, cool. Are y'all following? Okay, cool. Read.
His body also was like the beryl,
It says his body was like the bird. He had on a green coat all the way down to the foot, like they speak about in Revelations. Read.
and his face as the appearance of lightning,
It was glowing. Let's keep going.
and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms,
It says his arms. Read.
and his feet,
And his feet. Read.
like in color,
What do that mean? Color. So in color. Okay, read.
to polished brass.
Now what color is brass?
Christ is the brown.
It's the brown. So it said Christ is like in color to polished brown. So he's a black man.
Bring it out.
Brown.
Okay, so now when you keep saying you say he's brown, if Christ walked the earth today, what nationality would they call him?
Bring it out.
Huh?
I said that's a great question.
That's a great question. Now you said, give me Hebrews 7:14. Now you said you come from the tribe of Judah, right?
I did not say that.
7 and 14. Oh, my bad. Look over here. What tribe would you say you're from?
I'd have to trace back my actual lineage.
Just based off the okay. Let me deal with you, sis. Hey, sis. What's your nationality? African American. So based off this sign, what tribe would you come from? Give me Jeremiah 14:2 first. Based off this sign, what tribe would you come from? Let me show it to you. You got American black that says Judah. West Indies, that's your Jamaican. That comes from Benjamin. Where would you come from? Judah. Okay, Jeremiah 14:2. Because now we're going to deal with what color the Jews are, right? Does the Bible say what color they are?
A lot of different shades.
Let's find out though. We've been told that. We've been talking, but let's see what the Bible says. Read what you got. Jeremiah 14, verse 2.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2.
Yo.
Judah mourneth.
It says Judah, which is where Jews come from. It says they're in mourning. Now, why would Judah be in mourning? Because the same thing you see going on in our hoods was happening back then too. It says that's why they're in mourning. Keep going.
And the gates thereof language.
It says their gates thereof language, talking about leaders. They have very weak leaders, just like we do today. Nobody stands up for our people. Anytime any injustice happens, who they send? Al Sharpton. They go come and it goes down. And that's exactly what they do. They come and it goes down. Read.
They are black.
What color are they?
They are black.
What color are the Jews according to the Bible? What color are the Jews?
Which scripture?
Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2.
They are black unto the ground.
It says they are black unto the ground. Nobody didn't say black unto the ground.
Bring it out.
Do you know why it said black unto the ground? Because when you look at the soil in the dirt, what color is the soil? It's brown, and the deeper you dig, what color is it? It gets darker and darker. It don't turn pale. It don't turn the other color. It gets darker and darker. So now what it says unto the ground?
Jeremiah 14, what?
Verse 2. So now it says they are black unto the ground. So that's dealing with Jews. Now let's go to Hebrew. Let's see what tribe Christ is from. So, the King James Version. Whoa. We're gonna deal with that next.
I was like, that's
Because our people always got something to say about the version of the Bible. When the same people that enslaved you gave you the New King James Version, he gave you all those versions. The only version that comes from people that look like you is the 1611.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word